Hello Joe, hello Puffin class. It's Sarah here, the author of Barley the Bear Stories. I thought I would answer your questions today, so thank you ever so much for sending them in. I was really pleased to get such a lovely list of questions, and I hope you liked the bookmarks. I believe you did, and hopefully I will see you all soon, because I should be coming to your school to work at lunch times in the kitchen, so you might well see me there. So that will be very exciting to finally meet you all properly. But I've got your list, so let's go through the questions and see what everybody wanted to know. So the first question is from Theo, and Theo asks, is it fun being an author? And the answer to that is yes, it is. So a lot of hard work, because you have to think of your stories, write them down, check them over, and working with the publisher quite closely. A lot of work, but a lot of fun. And the bit that I enjoy most is doing things like this for my readers, and saying hello to everybody. I like to meet people, and I like to chat about what we're doing with Barley and Jack, who are behind me here. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. Is it hard to think of stories, asks Jude. Well, Jude, I would say I'm quite lucky, because I have a little dog called Jack, who is in the story. I find it very easy to think of the stories because he's such a character. So I imagine what he and Barley would get up to on their island, having all sorts of fun and madcap adventures. So I generally find that the stories come to me quite quickly. And I could link this with Dane's question, actually, Jude. So Dane wanted to know, how do you think of your ideas? So very much as I just answered for Jude, ideas can come from anywhere. It could be that I've been out for the day with my family, and we've seen something. Perhaps we've seen a hot air balloon, and in fact Barney the Bear and the hot air balloon, which I haven't read to you yet, that did actually happen to a certain extent. That I was on holiday with my husband, Mr. Harrison, and we were in our caravan, and I heard a noise, and there was a big hot air balloon coming down and down and down into the field opposite, and we thought it was going to crash. And that's where that story came from. So, I could be anywhere doing anything, and then something will happen and I'll think, oh, that will make a good story. So that's how I tend to think of them. So that's where my ideas come from as well. So that's for Jude and Dane. Now, Charlotte would like to know, do you have to be a good speller to be an author? Well, Charlotte, the answer is no, not necessarily. Because using computers and tablets now, we've got spell check, which is brilliant. But I think if you love writing and you love English, my advice would be to study hard. So work hard at school, do all your lessons, do all your homework. I am a good speller, and I have always been a good speller. And it does help, and I like words, so I tend to think of nice, interesting words that I can use, and generally they're the ones that are hard to spell, so I need to know what I want to say before I even ever use the spell check. So I would say yes, it is very helpful to be a good speller, but not entirely necessary. But generally authors would be reasonable spellers. Now, Tyler would like to know, do you get bored when you're writing? Tyler, no, I don't. The stories tend to come quite quickly, and I could be sitting, in my living room watching television, and a story will just pop into my head. I could be on holiday, or I could be visiting my family, so I could be anywhere, and all of a sudden the story will come, and I generally work with it as quickly as I can to get it down onto paper or onto the tablet before I actually forget what I wanted to say, especially because it's all in rhyme. So I tend to work really, really quickly to get everything done. So no, I have no time to get bored from a writing point of view. So thank you, Tyler. That was a good question as well. Millie would like to know, do you work on your own or in a group? Well, Millie, it's always on my own regarding the writing. I don't need anybody else for that. It's just, totally myself and my ideas. But when we're getting ready to put the book into bookshops, so we're ready to publish, I have to work with the publisher and the illustrator who does all the pictures very, very closely. And although we don't sit in the same room and we don't have meetings, we do talk a lot over email. So I will tell them exactly what I want Barley and Jack to look like, and what colours, what type of lettering, etc. So the font. And I work quite closely with them then, but otherwise it's done on my own. Isla May says, how do you think of characters? Well, Isla May, it's a little bit, as I've already said, regarding, I have my Jack Russell Jack, who is a really funny little chap. He's quite old now, he's over 15. He's very noisy, he's got a very long waggy tail, he's only small, but he thinks he's a big dog. And he loves to dig. Oh, here he is talking now in the background. He loves to dig. He loves to chase about, even though he's so old. He loves treats and snacks. So I watch Jack a lot, and I've known him a very long time. So he provides lots of inspiration for my character of Jack. And as for Barley, I've always loved bears, from teddy bears to bears in the wild, polar bears, black bears, grizzly bears. I love them all. And I love programs about wildlife as well. So that's where I got my inspiration for Barley from, was my love of bears and my love of the wilderness, and all the wild animals. So I knew I wanted to have a bear in my story, and it was deciding what type of bear. So I decided to make Barley quite a real bear, making him an American black bear cub. So that was that gave me a lot more scope for my ideas and for the stories. So next question is from Myla, and she asks, do you enjoy being an author? Well, Myla, so far so good. I'm really enjoying doing things like this for all my readers like yourselves, and I like people smiling when I'm reading, so I really enjoy knowing that my readers like yourselves are enjoying the stories. I enjoy putting everything together, and I enjoy seeing the finished results on social media, etc., when I'm doing all the press and the publicity. I've enjoyed being on the radio, and in fact I should have had a radio interview this afternoon, but they haven't called me, so that's very naughty. So I do enjoy the fun aspect, not so much having to chase up people when they don't stick to their commitments, but I do enjoy it very, very much. And then Alice finally says, are you famous and how many books have you written? Well, I'm not famous, Alice, at least not yet, but you never know. So it's my first book. I have written stories for myself before and poems, which I've just kept privately for me. But this is my first proper book, so it is very exciting. The book seems to be doing quite well. So the more people like it and buy it and talk about it, the more I will sell. And then, of course, perhaps one day then, yes, there could be fame and fortune my way. But as I don't know if I've already said to you, but I may well be working at your school, and you might well see me at lunchtimes. So look out for me and come and say hello if you see me, because it would be lovely to meet you all one by one. So I'm sure you can hear little Jack in the background. I'm going to go and tell him off. This is Sarah signing off, and thank you guys for watching. Keep supporting me, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks everyone. Bye.